Welcome to Cyber Espresso Podcast, your quick shot of cybersecurity insights with industry leaders. I am excited to welcome today's guest, Andras Lani, Deputy CEO of Spirit Enterprise. Andras, good morning.
Good morning, Murat. How are you?
I am doing fine, thank you. Andras, why don't you give a quick view about yourself and the Spirit Enterprise?
Yeah, well, the company was founded in 2019 and from a Hungarian professional, and we are based in Hungary. We have subsidiaries in Austria and in the Middle East. Uh, we are focusing on two areas. One is professional services, where we do mergers and acquisitions from the IT perspective mainly, but we do other, let's say, more of a traditional IT consulting services to our clients. And we started dealing with cybersecurity about 4 years ago, and we have some. We're working together with some major technology providers, and well, thankfully we have been very successful, not just in the European market, but we're also acquiring clients in Africa and then also in the Middle East.
Andras, I don't know you're a movie goer, but the latest movie, Andrian Brody's historical drama, The Brutalist. I don't know you have a chance to see it. It just come to the theaters as of last Friday.
Hmm.
But Brutalist uses AI voice cloning to perfect the Hungarian accent of his lead actor, Adrian Brody. Some people think, like in every aspect, AI is transforming filmmaking, but others raise ethical concerns. So, what do you think?
Well, I have not, unfortunately, I have not been able to watch the movie. I actually am planning to do it in the near future. It's, as far as I understand, it's a very dramatic story of a Hungarian immigrant to the US. And Mr. Brody has Hungarian roots. And I have to say that the Hungarian language is just extremely hard to learn, and not just to learn, but to pronounce the words. And I have absolutely no problem with some pimping up things. You pimp up your cars, and why not use AI to help to make the viewers experience a little bit better. I think this is a lot better than hearing somebody speaking Hungarian with a very heavy accent. So I don't really have a problem with it. I think this is not, as far as I know, it's a very minor part of the movie when they actually speak Hungarian. So I don't think this should take any credit away from Mr. Brody and his performance. So I'm really rooting for him because at the Oscars, because he's obviously portraying, he's got the Hungarian roots, and he's obviously portraying a Hungarian person. So he's making us proud.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thanks for sharing your thoughts. So let's talk about NIS2 Directive, new rules on cybersecurity of network and information system, as effective, I believe, October 24. So
Mhm.
what does this mean for businesses in Europe Union?
Well, this is influencing, I think, more than 160,000 companies within the European Union, and they are being directly affected by the law. So all the countries, so it's a directive. All the countries have to have an own or a local law implemented, and all the countries are using a different approach. We already have some experience in Hungary, and I have to say it's not it's not a positive experience. So companies are trying to tackle the problem. It's a big problem. This is influencing just in Hungary close to 4,000 entrepreneurs or companies, and uh, and mainly small and medium enterprise companies that are operating the critical infrastructure in Hungary. and they look at it as a mandatory must, and they're not looking at the actual risk that they're facing. So I think there is a somehow a wrong understanding of the regulation of NIS2 from the side of companies. They look at the regulation as something that now again comes from the European Union, and they're making us they're less competitive on the international markets. And it's just an incredible burden. So that's the attitude of the companies, and they're not completely aware of the fact how much danger they're actually facing on a day-to-day basis. Our experience in Hungary is that the regulators are not on top of things. Let me put it mildly. So even though they implemented a very strict NIS2 regulation in Hungary, which is practically a NIST, so it's a copy paste function NIST of a NIST regulation, but it is, I think, from the Hungarian point of view, it's over regulated. So they really used a really tough NIST regulation, which is understandable for major infrastructure operators, but for a small and medium enterprise or small and medium business, is just an incredible burden to actually fulfill.
Okay, thanks for sharing your thoughts. I know Spirit Enterprise offer virtual CISO services. How long have you been doing? And also, based on your experience, is it a game changer for organization? What are the pros and cons for organization to go with the virtual CISO service?
I really do believe that virtual CISO service will be a game changer. It's a fairly new technology which we're using. Uh, so the whole idea came to work with virtual CISO platforms. It was a project which actually came from the Middle East. There was a big public company that wanted to have a gap assessment to ISO 27001 framework. And obviously, we had the professional knowledge, but the budget which they were allocating to the project was way out of, so it was not even close to our offerings. And we started looking around how we can actually make this work more productive and more effective. And that's how we came through a VCSO, virtual CISO platform, which we're working now with, and it makes our life a lot easier. We can scale up our CISO operations. So obviously, if you look at the market right now in Europe, for example, in Hungary, you have 4,000 companies that are affected by NIS2, and in NIS2 and in every other regulations, you have to appoint a guy. So have somebody who's responsible for these things. And obviously, we don't have that many professionals on the market. And I think this is also the problem, not just in Hungary, but everywhere else globally, that you do not have enough knowledgeable and trained professionals on the market. So with our virtual CISO platform, we can actually scale up our consulting services or security services, because we can manage our clients' security journey on a very standardized and very understandable way. So you don't have to have, for example, such a senior security knowledge to manage things with this virtual CISO platform. You obviously need to have the overview, and you have to have the management and also the knowledge to manage. But on the day-to-day basis, you can delegate things to less senior people, and you can scale up the operation as a managed security service provider.
One of the feedback I am getting with the virtual CISO is what they are calling it very local. That means if you want to do business in other countries or regions, although the regulations sometimes pretty much replicate each other, but there are some subtle differences, the virtual CISO will not work in that global perspective. Do you agree, or at certain point it can, again, we don't want to replace CISOs, but where we are heading, is it can be deployed at the global scale?
I think it can. I mean, I mean, if you look at the frameworks, the security frameworks, and the holistic approach of solve or of the security journey, it's not unique for each and every country. I mean, it's the knowledge and the technology behind it is practically the same everywhere. So you use the same technological tools, use the same processes. The governance side is practically the same. The question is, I mean, and also obviously you have the local regulations, which makes it difficult. But most of the times these regulations are based on some global or international standards. And for example, with the tool that we use, we can actually tailor-made uh, the standard. So if we know, for example, that the Austrian standard is mainly based on NIS2 or on ISO 27001, we can actually take out certain tasks or certain controls, for example, from the holistic view and simplify it. Usually the controls and so the bigger the bigger stack of controls are within the VCSO than in the regulation. So you usually have to take out tasks which are not relevant, or for example, you have to combine. Maybe you have an American standard like NIST, and then you have to. So they have a different privacy approach. Obviously, Europe has the GDPR, but also that is usually included in the virtual CISO platform. So you can actually mix and match the international platforms, and you can match it to the local regulations. So at a certain point, I have to say that I disagree that this cannot be upscaled to a global level.
Just to wrap up our conversation, I know your headquarters is Hungary, you do business in Austria, also other Central Eastern European countries, and also the Western European, but you wrap up the year with the Bitex Tech Conference in Bahrain.
Mhm.
So, like, what's your vision? Like, how is it? Like, your idea is just to go beyond Europe. Why Bahrain? And what's your experience attending the Bitex Tech Conference?
Well, we have been trying to enter to the market on the Middle East for quite a while. I have to say it's not an easy task to do. Uh, and that's our strategic goal, strategic area. So the Middle East is very important for us, and we're looking for partners, and we're using partners to actually tackle this problem. My view is that it's very much so the Middle Eastern market is very much influenced by Indian service providers. So it's not easy because of the price issue. It's not easy to enter the market. Plus, the local regulations are not as sophisticated, or practically most of the times they're not non-existent, or they're not so strict uh, for the local companies to attack the cybersecurity risk issue. So it's a really tough market to enter, and we have blossoming cooperations with some local partners, but it's not an easy market.
Yeah, the key point is partnership. In order to grow, you need to partner with other regional organization with the same mindset and the capabilities that you have. So, Andras, I
Exactly.
would like to thank you for taking your time to be part of our podcast. I think it was a very fruitful conversation. And all the best in 2025. A lot of opportunities, a lot of moving things, and all the best for Spirit Enterprise.
Thank you so much. My pleasure, and same to you. Have a great 2025.
Thank you.